when I was about 11 or 12 years old, I had a friend who came to church, and while we were sitting there on the pew, he showed me a joint. At this time, it was new to me. I had heard about it, but really hadn't been around it. And we sit and he talked to me about it. And that day on the church premises, we smoked that joint. And when we smoke that joint, it's like a door of darkness, the path of darkness just opened unto me. At that point, I began meeting people who knew about drugs and knew how to purchase it and what to do with it. And here I go, starting to experiment and trying to hide it from my parents. And one thing was leading to another. At the time, I didn't know that I was slipping deeper and deeper into darkness. And I began later on to meet very experienced people who was experienced with doing drugs and selling and using. And they began to introduce me to different levels of popping pills and drinking alcohol and just a whole party scene. By the age of 16 years old, I had done so much drugs and smoked so much marijuana until it felt like I was just being overtaken. People would show up and I couldn't even remember what I had did the night before. I was becoming burnt out. Probably weighed about 130 pounds. I couldn't see and I was blind to even my own appearance. Darkness was taking a hold of me and I didn't even know it. I began at this point to seem like I was experiencing somewhat of an awakening in my heart that I didn't want to be like this. I didn't want to keep going this way. It was hard to explain because I was ignorant of the fact that darkness had power. Something else was ruling me other than my own decision. It was influencing my decision. It had taken over my will. And here I was, lost, drowning, and didn't know how to save myself. But I had a very amazing experience. And still to this day, years later, I am amazed of what I experienced. Now we see how the devil came and tempted me right in the church and opened a door of darkness that just opened me up to a lifestyle. And I went about 8 years in this rebellion, just going down this path until I was consumed and ate up and had let things go and put things on hold until I was lost and blind. But in this experience, I was doing my drugs. I had been doing it all that morning, drinking and popping pills and smoking marijuana, doing cocaine. And later that night, we was at a crack house. We was all sitting around partying. And all of a sudden, I had an experience of this great light just shined in. And the way it began to reveal itself, I thought everybody in the room was seeing it, but only I could see this light. And all of a sudden a voice spoke out of this light, and the voice said, Repent, my son. Repent, for I have a purpose for you. Repent. And I began to become so fearful that I was instantly sober. I knew where I was. I knew what was going on. I couldn't explain experience, so I started running around the room saying, I got the key to success. I got the key to success.